Welcome to another of Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. I am Jenny, the storytelling genie, here with my sweet and crafty cat, Cosette, and we wish to welcome you to our magic lamp. We're so happy you could join us today for a story on a great adventure and then for some sort of craft or activity after our story. And Cosette has informed me that she has something special picked out for us today. She's got a story about a cat, much like herself, but this one lives on the island of Nantucket. Would you like to go and read that with us now? Okay, let's go. All right, boys and girls, for today's story we have Nat, the Nantucket Cat by Peter W. Barnes and Cheryl Shaw Barnes. I hope that you enjoy it. Nat, the Nantucket Cat lives on an island that is small and flat. Lives on an island in the deep blue sea, and he lives so happily. Nat, the Nantucket Cat, lives with a fisherman named Captain Pat. He fishes in the morning in the deep blue sea and is home in time for tea. Nat, the Nantucket Cat, strolls down the street to visit Mrs. Spratt, down to her cottage by the deep blue sea, where she bakes from 8 to 3. Nat, the Nantucket Cat, sits at the window watching Mrs. Spratt, watching her prepare a secret recipe that she makes for company. Scat, scat, you Nantucket Cat, away from my window, bellows Mrs. Spratt. Away from my window, or I guarantee I will wail away at thee. Ooh, watch out, Nat. Nat, a courageous cat, jumps from the window like an acrobat. Jumps to a sailboat in the deep blue sea, sailing by so gracefully. Nat, you amazing cat, wherever are you going, hollers Captain Pat, fishing by the sailboat in the deep blue sea. Climb aboard and come with me. Nat, the Nantucket Cat, leaps to the captain in a second flat, leaps to his trawler in the deep blue sea, chugging home in time for tea. Nat, the Nantucket Cat, sleeps that very evening on the front door mat, sleeps on his island in the deep blue sea, and he sleeps so peacefully. The end. What did you think of Nat, the Nantucket Cat? I thought he was awfully cute, and like most cats, got into some adventures and was looking for a sweet snack, wasn't he? For today's adventure, speaking of adventures, I thought it might be fun for us to draw our very own Nat, Nantucket Cat. And I have a really crazy idea of changing the shape of Nantucket Island into the cat itself. Would you like to give this a try with me? It's sort of like cloud gazing and seeing different shapes and animals and things up in the sky and the clouds when you look at them carefully. And you let your imagination take you away and wonder and see what you can find. Let's give that a try. What do you say? You ready to go and do that with me? Let's go. All right, for today's activity, all you're going to need is a little bit of imagination, a piece of paper, a pencil, and eraser. And when you're finished, maybe some colored pencils or crayons or markers to decorate your drawing. Since we read Nat, Nantucket Cat, I thought it might be fun to draw the island of Nantucket and turn it into a cat. My imagination gets a little carried away sometimes, but have you ever sat outside and looked up at the clouds and seen different dinosaurs or dragons or cats in the clouds, anything like that? Maybe puppy dogs and cars? Well, I thought that looking at a picture of the island from space or from up high, like in an airplane, that I could kind of see the shape of a cat. So turning the Nantucket Cat story into a piece of art might be kind of fun. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the shape of the island as seen from above it as best as I can. It's not going to be perfect. I am not an artist, but I like to have fun. And then after I've gotten the basic shape down, I'm going to turn it into a cat. So you can follow along with me and do your best. If you don't want to draw the island of Nantucket into a cat, you could just draw a cat. The choice is yours. So to do this, I took and looked up a picture of Nantucket Island, and I'll put that up for you so you can see what it looks like also. And now I'm just going to do my best to draw it myself. So here we go. Nantucket Island has this island piece over here floating all by itself. And it's got this other little strip of island. And then it's got this big round curvy piece, kind of comes up top, tucks in. And this is why I always have an eraser, because I know I'm going to make mistakes as I try to do this. Jenny the genie likes to challenge herself with her creative skills too. And then there's a little break here. And this kind of comes down and in and stretches around. And again, I'm not trying to make my picture perfect, just trying to have some fun with it. In the center of the island, it looks like there's some nice big bodies of water. And they kind of dot around like that. All right, what else? This one has a little cutout there. All right, and again, it's not gonna be perfect, but here is my general shape of Nantucket Island. Hopefully you can see that. There's my general outline of the island of Nantucket. It's not gonna look exactly like the one I showed you, but it's, you know, close enough for my drawing skill level. So there it is. And now the fun part begins, where I'm gonna take and make this into a cat. So this is gonna require imagination and an eraser. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work with the island as it is. To me, I already see a cat who's laying down or stretching forward. This part up here is the tail of the cat, and over here is where the head would be. So how I'm gonna change this into a cat, taking this as the tail and the back of the cat, and this is gonna be like the head area. I'm gonna make it look like the cat is scratching its claws on a tree. Let's see if we can accomplish that. So, working with my picture, I'm gonna turn this first blob island up here into my kitty cat's head. I'm gonna turn this into the head. So I'm gonna say that's part of the kitty's face. And I'm just gonna add some details to it, because cats have different coloring sometimes that can give these broken up patterns, where the island is naturally broken up by rivers, lakes, streams, water inlets. We can pretend that's the cat's markings. And what I'm doing is I'm adding some lines to connect that body of water and that island to the main island. So I'm just adding some details. And I want my cat to look kind of cartoony, so I'm not worried about how perfect it is. I just need it to connect up. Once I start adding some details with whiskers and mouths and things like that, I think that it'll make a little more sense. Okay, so here's what I've got so far. I'm turning the front island piece that you saw in our image into a cat face. And I've drawn lines to make a neck to connect to that main Nantucket body. Now I'm going to give him some front paws that are going to extend right from this bottom part of the island here. So. It looks a little silly right now, but these are the paws that I've got going. Hopefully when I start adding in things for the kitty to be scratching, it's going to look a little bit better. I might have to do some more erasing. I'm adding some tree limbs just to the top so I can start getting the shape of the tree that the kitty cat is going to be scratching. And again, you don't have to make a kitty if you don't want to. Maybe you saw a different shape out of Nantucket Island. I'm going with a kitty because I can see the kitty, but also because our story was called Nantucket Cat. So I thought it would be fun to give Nantucket Cat a little more meaning by making Nantucket into the cat itself. This is part of the fun of doing art. You can just keep going in, erasing and adding new lines. You can see I'm starting to develop a tree. My kitty is reaching out to claw. And my art is cartoony. It's a little silly. You can make yours however you like. My kitty's stretching his paws. I think I'm going to add some back legs back here. So I'm going to just give the shape of a leg here. All I did was I added a curved line back here to show where the legs will be. I'm going to draw a leg on the bottom near the belly here. Okay, I've just added a foot down there so you can see where the back legs of the kitty would be while he's stretching out. And that's where that deep arch in the back comes from. He's stretching forward to scratch the tree. Now, all those markings that were Nantucket bodies of water in the island are still there. As you can see, I'm going to use those as like the cat's color. So maybe my cat is multiple colored, like a calico cat. So I'll add in some patches in other spots and I'll color the kitty in. So the general idea of Nantucket is still there, but I've changed a lot of it. So now it looks more like a cat scratching a tree, doesn't it? And the only other thing I'm going to do before I start having fun decorating, I might add some leaves to my tree. And then when you're done drawing, you can outline your picture and color it in. All right, once you have your picture outlined to where you like it, you can erase any pencil marks left over that you don't need. I got something like that now. You know, I think I might add a bird's nest up here with a bird in it so that there's a reason for my Nantucket cat to be stretching up. So maybe I'll do that now. I drew a little bird up there. I'm going to outline him. Now you can use markers, crayon, colored pencil, anything you like to color in your drawing. All right, and there you have it. Your very own Nantucket cat. Hope you were able to follow along with me and turn the island of Nantucket into a kitty cat of your own. And if not, maybe you can make something else. And if you don't like drawing and turning things into new shapes, you can go look at clouds and see what you can see in those. All right, you ready to head back to my magic lamp and say goodbye to Cosette? Let's go. And welcome back, friends, to our magic lamp. Did you enjoy the story of Nat the Nantucket cat? How about making our very own Nantucket-shaped cat? Did you find that challenging? I hope it was fun, even if it was a little tricky. And I hope you can still kind of see the shape of Nantucket within your animal that you created. I enjoyed doing that. Remember, you can use your imagination to go out and do something like this anytime you want. All you have to do is lay down on the ground and look up at the sky and look at the clouds and imagine all the different animals or shapes or characters that you can see up in the sky. And while you're daydreaming, I hope you'll be thinking about Cosette and me and wanting to come back to visit us again soon. And until you do, take good care of yourself and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.